This is the third battle between Aggony Riksosten and R1G3 Iraklis. We've had two great games. I think this is going to be another one. Iraklis is commanding the Danes. He has 4 Levy Freemen. He has 3 armored archers. He has 4 berserkers. He has 4 Dane axes and big axes. 1 housecarl. In the back he has 3 spears and 1 skirmisher. This is an army that brings the pain to enemy infantry and has some cavalry counter capabilities. The Kingdom of Charlemagne is bringing Frankish horse, 4 of those over here. They're bringing skirmishers, they're bringing 4 archers, they're bringing armored swords and mounted swords. Over here we have more Frankish cav. So am I counting 8 Frankish cav? No, Frankish horse. 4 Frankish horse, 4 Frankish cav. And 1 guardsman. Together with a skirmisher on the flanks. The Danes pushing up towards the hill, very important for them to get a position where they are relatively safe from cavalry. But I'm going to go and make a prediction here. There's no way that the Frankish cavalry and the Frankish horse are able to do enough damage to this army that it's a game-winning factor, because there are so many Dane infantry units on the field here. Once the cav unit hits 1 unit, there's always going to be a unit in support, and if they're not able to break that unit instantly, things are going to get hairy really quickly for the Frankish cavalry. They are starting to surround the Danes, moving up on the flanks. But this is quite dangerous for the for the Frankish center. The Frankish center is wisely being pulled back. They are getting pushed on by the spears. The spears are in the front, taking all of the fire for the time being, and the squishy units are kept. The squishy units are kept in the center. Now even in shield wall. This is something unique about the Danes. They will be able to break any shield wall army with their big axes and their berserkers. The charge bonus is just too immense. Flaming shot being poured into the skirmishers there. I'm sure they were ready for cavalry, but now they're just targeting targets of opportunity. So the Franks, they have their work cut out for them here. The Danes have to survive the archery barrage, and after that, it's a matter of the Franks getting important cav charges in. But charging a unit of big axes, even if a few men survive, they don't break instantly. The cavalry is going to get chopped to pieces. They are one of the only units that are close to one-shotting cav on the charge. 87 charge, let's say it's 90 to make it easy. So 140 or 137 charge bonus. That's almost enough to one-shot the Frankish cav. The armored archers pushing up, they are superior units to the standard archers. The standard archers have to use heavy shot to be able to deal damage to the armored archers, but in terms of being arrow sponges, the armored archers are great units. And now it looks like they are getting some flaming shots in on the Frankish horse. Very important. Over the course of a battle, this adds up. The archers moving out on the sides. The Danes are almost completely surrounded now, where they are completely surrounded. And wisely, Riksosten is pushing away in different directions, so the entire force of the Danes can't engage the entire force of the Franks. However, if they decide to just engage, they are going to be able to... This is something uniquely Danish, aside from the incomprehensible language. They are going to be able to destroy these... No matter how they deploy, they're going to be able to destroy these armored swords and the mounted swords incredibly quickly. And here we get a cav charge into the berserkers, but this cav unit is gone. It doesn't have any way of getting out of this engagement. It didn't do too much damage to the 150 health berserkers, and now the Frankish horse are dropping incredibly quickly. I don't know that it's necessary to be firing into this blob. Causing way too much damage to his own men here is Iraklis. And continuing to do so. This is not good. He would have defeated that unit anyway. Over here as well, we have a cav unit charging in. But once it starts pulling out, this is what happens. It gets hit by flaming shot, it loses men pulling out. It didn't manage to do much. And this was a Frankish cav unit. 46 armor, heavy Frankish cav. So, once again, I keep saying this, but this is not Attila. You cannot use your cavalry like you did in Attila. The spearmen, moving up here, they have rapid advance. They could very well catch this skirmisher before it rains death on the big axis. The armored archers using flaming shots here against the regular archers. The regular archers pouring fire into the Levy Freemen. The Levy Freemen could just turn and face using spear wall, and they would get a 65% missile block chance. Would probably be a good idea for them. The skirmishers don't have any good targets to fire on at the moment. The skirmishers here are moving up to target the cav. But they did get a volley off. Killed a few. And here the spearmen chasing after the skirmishers. Very light versus medium, so they need that rapid advance in order to catch these skirmishers. The cav doesn't want to engage a disorganized unit like this. And here the cavalry is getting hammered by flaming shots. Pulling out. Here comes the rear charge, waiting until the unit is in a downhill position. Smart move, but I don't know how smart it is to engage these spearmen. The spearmen are turning to face the Frankish cav now, and losing rapidly, pouring the cavalry in here. That might break the spears. Yeah, the spears are going to lose a lot of men, and they're not going to get much killing done. So using all of the cavalry against this spear unit is going to break it. And the spearmen didn't get too many kills out of it.
Our men run from the enemy.
But the spearmen in the Dane army are expendables. The Frankish cav is losing a lot of men and not doing enough damage in return, I think. The Danes are fighting on multiple fronts, but these armored archers are really helping in doing damage to the disengaging cavalry. And the Levy Freemen, I don't know why they're in spear wall, so now they're getting the missile block.
Running from the enemy.
Using a wedge of spears here to just take the fire and screen off some cavalry. Doing the same thing on both sides, actually. And the armored archers are firing on these archers, maybe trying to break them. Won't happen yet. And the archers really should get other targets. Yeah, like the big axis. Good job firing on the big axis. You can see how quickly they are dropping. So now the skirmishers, not quite in range. But the archers are relatively safe to move up here. The spears could chase them away using rapid advance. And here we have the Frankish cav charging into the armored archers. Pulling out now. And let's see how much damage they take pulling out. The spears move to intercept. The Frankish cavalry is running around, taking fire. They want to get that unit of armored archers off the field for good. And in doing so, that unit is going to get smashed by the full strength archers. So the Frankish cav, not cost effective in this case, but it takes priority taking care of these skirmish units. However, you still need the units to defeat the berserkers and the big axes. Because if there's no cavalry, if there are no archers, berserkers and big axes just cannot get defeated by infantry if they get the charge off.
The men are running, cowards!
The armored archers haven't gotten the highest amount of kills, but They are getting very important kills. They are tanking important damage. It looks like the skirmishers firing on the spearmen here. And everywhere since they don't have a lot of armor, it's smart keeping these archers in the forest, giving them some more survivability. Taking a lot of fire here. Only flaming. This is a long, drawn-out battle, testing the patience of... certainly testing the patience of Riksosten. I'm sure Iraklis would have expected this. Riksosten would probably have expected it as well. He needs to skirmish. Skirmish, skirmish, skirmish. But these armored archers makes it more complicated to skirmish against the Danes, because they can take so much fire. But making a push here, trying to catch this wing of the Kingdom of Charlemagne is Iraklis. And they are trying to get away, but moving in one direction. These units are going to be zoned out of the battle for some time. The cavalry can't really engage. But I think Charlemagne has enough mobility to move around and avoid the Dane assault for the time being, at least. The Frankish cavalry moving in, but they're going to get surrounded very quickly. But they're taking fire on the disengage. This, though, allows the skirmishers to get some damage in against the berserkers. But the Frankish cavalry again taking damage. Skirmishers hammering the spearmen. Another Frankish horse unit coming in. Let's see what it aims for. Aims for 2 berserker units. This could get interesting. Nope, decides not to engage. Smart choice. The Frankish horse would have gotten smashed by 2 berserkers. Archers getting in some nice kills against the Levy Freemen, but I think the Franks would have needed more skirmish. This is where it's at. Big axes getting charged. Nope, they turn around. The Frankish cav. They should lose some men here. Haven't lost anything yet, so that's good for them. Only lost 1 man there, not too shabby. The big axes getting focused on, haven't gotten a lot of kills getting done. And yeah, they got shot to pieces there. Big axes just cannot take fire. 10 armor. They will die to any type of missile. Here's the weird charge happening from the Frankish cav. Since they're charging the unit from the flank, they don't get the full impact of the charge. But they're ganging up on this unit of armored archers, losing men, pulling out. The spears help the armored swords move in against the spearmen, and the rest of the Dane shock units are too far away to be able to do much about this. But if the armored swords stay in here, let's have a look at this. Is the first real charge we're getting from a big axe unit. This is going to end quickly. Let's have a look at the kills. Yeah. Trying to pull out from big axes and spears. This armored sword unit is basically gone. Cav coming in here against the big axes, pulling out, losing so many men, disengaging, wavering, taking flaming shots. They're fine though. The big axes keep chasing the armored swords, and now the armored swords are gone. The downhill charge from the Frankish cav is going to do some damage, but there are too many Dane infantry units here. The Frankish cav is going to take a beating as well. Trying to pull out, and this has been the story of this battle. Cavalry charges in, gets a few kills, tries to pull out, and they're gone. And now the armored swords, they need their shield wall. The cav is desperately charging in everywhere. Decided against it. They don't want to charge the Dane ball of death. The Dane death blob. I'm going to trademark that, the Dane death blob. Berserkers and big axes in a huge blob, supported by spears. Good luck. No ammunition remaining on the archers. So the Danes are just chasing the Franks off the field here. The Frankish horse charge in. The big axes turn to charge as well, and they are killing cavalry units quickly. Here we have the berserkers charging in against the armored swords. The armored swords are going to take a significant beating here. The berserkers are going to go berserk. Yep, they go berserk. And look at how quickly they destroy a unit of armored swords here. No problem whatsoever. The big axes charging through into the armored swords. The armored swords just disappearing under the onslaught. Well, this is very quickly looking bad for the Franks. Sending in a unit here against the housecarls, the Frankish horse, but they just get death blobbed to death, basically. And they're trying to pull out, and same thing happens. They lose so many men disengaging. The berserkers took out the armored swords. The Danish death blob took out the armored swords over here. And the cavalry still keeps taking flaming shots from the armored archers. Now even the general taking fire. Skirmishers getting chased away. There is this one unit of archers that could do some sniping on the armored, on the housecarls.
A unit is running from the enemy.
Frankish horse off the field. Probably best to just ignore these archers for now. They can't really do anything. The berserkers have stopped running berserk after getting 100 kills. Now they're being pulled back into the battlefield. The Frankish horsemen broke a unit of big axes there, but the big axes are coming back, it seems. And the armored archers focusing their last ammunition on the archers, which is a good idea because if you kill a man, you take away the ammunition that man was carrying. So each of these kills removes 8 arrows that could be used against the housecarls or the big axes. So quite useful. The Frankish cavalry trying to take out the armored archers. They do get into them, but they do need to get out as well. Still taking fire on the disengage.
Our men flee the field of battle.
Not as bad as it has been in the previous engagements, but the damage was done. And this is sort of the struggle in Dane battles. You have to... I mean, you can't engage the infantry. You just cannot. And if you engage the infantry with cavalry, the cavalry is going to struggle. So you have to kill the important Dane units with your skirmishers. But then again, these armored archers are more than capable of defeating many archer units. So it's a tough job for the Franks. The Danes surge forward. Everything they touch dies. And the Franks just have to disengage. Cav unit running around in the back. The armored archers are going to get one volley off probably. One shot more like. And the Frankish cav takes them out. The Levy Freemen chasing away the mounted swords. They don't want to get caught here, so that the other dangerous units can get to them. And the archers, the Levy Freemen getting into the archers. Nice charge bonus on the Levy Freemen. So the one remaining unit that had ammunition is about to get killed by Levy Freemen. Getting a lot of kills on that archer unit. Well, there is actually one unit with a few javelins left here. One javelin volley left. Certainly not enough. And the mounted swords are just running and running away from the axis. Guardsmen, very heavy melee cav, charging into the big axis. The big axis did manage to get much killing done there. They were already depleted. The housecarls, even more dangerous than the big axis.
The men are broken and are fleeing.
So focusing everything now on the housecarls. But the housecarls are going to get a lot of killing done in this engagement. Standing in the armored archers, they work great as meat shields for the housecarls. And now the guardsmen pulling out, losing men. The archers getting killed. Another charge from Frankish cav. There are berserkers going berserk in here, killing quite rapidly. The housecarls getting rear charged, but their kills are still increasing. So this engagement is what it's all about now. The cavalry in a chaotic engagement like this, the guardsmen losing so many men pulling out. And everything else just gets chopped to bits. Now this one armored sword just cannot engage. The cavalry charges into the death blob. The death blob hits back. And you should see the guardsmen, the guardsmen are dropping so quickly.
Their general is dead. A lethal blow.
Guardsmen dead. The Franks have no chance. And the last unit gets rear charged by berserkers, and that's it.
Our forces have found their courage. Back to the fight.
So the problem you're facing against the Danes here, the cavalry didn't really perform as well as it needs to, neither did the skirmishers. The big axes get their kills, some of the berserkers get their kills, but the problem is here, you have 8 units that will destroy any infantry unit on the charge. You have the big axes and you have the berserkers. Actually you have 9, you have the housecarls as well. So specifically against the Danes, I don't see a place for shield wall units like these armored swords and these mounted swords. The Danes, the cavalry is just too good. Now, something that can work against the Danes is if you're the... I don't know that I would pick the Kingdom of Charlemagne, but let's see, we're going to go with some guardsmen, and you can bring a lot of archers. I think I would bring as many archers and skirmishers as I could against the Danes. Maybe, the Frankish cavalry is sort of a given. I think I would bring either some Schola Knights or just skirmish cav. And if I have a cav max of... If I can bring 8 cav melee cav units, I think I'm going to be bringing some Schola Knights as well. And the way this army works is, I'm not sure it would work. It's sort of an Avar-inspired army. You have enough ammunition on your archers to deal the damage to the enemy. Whoa, that's weird. Bit of a bug. To deal the damage to the basically kill off the enemy spears. When the enemy spears are gone, it's time to suicide Frankish cav. And when you suicide, it's very important that you also fire into the blob with heavy shot, killing the relatively fragile, or the very fragile big axis northern units. But it's not easy playing as the Kingdom of Charlemagne against the Danes, because there is so much infantry to kill, and they have the armored archers. You don't. Strength and honor.